Désirez le bon temps roulé. I got another one of those prize catches for this carnival season. Soft, buttery, cinnamon-filled dough with a roasted white chocolate ganache, fresh raspberry compote. You're not gonna want to miss this one. That thing messing like a po' boy. So we're gonna go ahead and add in 3½ cups of all-purpose flour to our mixer, along with 1 package of instant yeast. Go ahead and give that a mix. Now we're gonna take a small saucepan. We're gonna add in 1 cup of milk, 1/4 cup of sugar, and a teaspoon of salt. Now heat that on medium-high heat, and you want to get it to about 125 degrees. Don't get it too much hotter than that. That's going to help activate that yeast when we mixed it in. Now with that milk warm, go ahead and slowly incorporate it into that dry mixture. Now go ahead and add in those eggs one at a time. At this point, we want to go ahead and take that paddle off and use your dough hook. Go ahead and scrape down the sides to get it all nice and blended. Now I've got 6 tablespoons of butter cubed up, and I'll let it soften. You want to add it in a little bit at a time. Go ahead and do that till it's all in there. Let this knead for 8 minutes. Every 2 minutes stopping, go ahead and scrape the sides down. And look, if it's too sticky, add a little bit more flour. Add a little bit of water if it's too dry. And now you can see whenever it forms that ball, you know it's done. I'm going to go ahead and lightly grease a bowl. And then put just a little bit of flour on that counter. We'll go ahead and turn that dough out onto the counter. You want to just knead it a few times and make sure it's nice and smooth. Now just go ahead and form it into a ball. We'll put that into that greased bowl. Go ahead and flip it. Go ahead and cover. And then refrigerate this for 1 hour. While the dough is chilling, let's go ahead and start on all the fillings. So we got 3 different ones we gotta make, so we're gonna be busy. So we're gonna be roasting the chocolate for this ganache. That's just gonna help give that flavor profile that next level complexity. I got a small sheet pan lined with a silicone liner, 4 white chocolate bacon bars. I'm gonna roast this at 425 just till it gets nice and toasted. Got that white chocolate nice and roasted up. Those browned up edges are gonna give it a nice nutty flavor. I'm gonna go ahead and put this into my pot. I'm gonna add just about a tablespoon or 2 of heavy cream. Now what I could do is just put this on the stove top and let it melt all together. Let's move on to the raspberry filling. And you know, something like this, we're not using that old gloppy pre-made jelly. I got 4 pints of fresh raspberries, a 1/2 cup of sugar. Now I'm going to use the juice of 1 lemon, and then about a 1/4 cup of raspberry liqueur. If you don't have that, you could use an orange liqueur. If you don't want to use any kind of alcohol, just go ahead and use whatever kind of juice. We'll go ahead and put this on the stove and let it simmer down until it becomes a nice thick syrup. Now finally, we got to have the cinnamon filling. It makes that signature king cake flavor. I got 2/3 cups of brown sugar, 1½ teaspoons of cinnamon, got 6 tablespoons of butter. Go ahead and get it mixed up well. Now that ganache has come together, you can see it change colors a little bit, but roasting it, man, that adds something really special to the flavor. Once that cools, I'm gonna go ahead and put that into a piping bag. That's gonna make it a lot easier to spread out on that cake when we get there. Been about 20 minutes cooking those raspberries. We'll go ahead and pour that into a bowl and let it start cooling down. We got our dough out the refrigerator. You can see it's about doubled in size. Now for the fun part. Go ahead and throw some flour down. Take your rolling pin, make sure you flour that. And we want to start working our dough out. When you're rolling dough, you want to start in the center and then push outward. And we really want to work this one to be more of a rectangle. I think we're pretty good with that. What you think? I will go ahead and take that cinnamon mixture, smear it all over it. You want to stay about 1 inch away from the edges. Now I like to take a pizza cutter and we could just square up our edges. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half. Take that chocolate ganache, go ahead and put it on one half of it. And that raspberry filling on the other half. Roll up each half. Go ahead and wrap them around each other. Form that into a ring. I got another one of those sheet pans lined up. You just take a little time and form it up how you want it to come out. We're going to let this hang out for about 10 minutes before we put it in the oven. It's going to go ahead and rise a little bit more, and then we're going to bake it at 350 degrees for about 25 to 35 minutes. Whenever it's nice and golden brown, you can take it out. So it looks like I made way more filling than what I needed. So I'm gonna go ahead and correct it on the recipe. If you're looking for it, it'll be posted up on my website. It's nice and golden brown after about 30 minutes. I had a little bit leak out, but nothing too crazy. We'll let this cool for about 10 minutes, and we're gonna transfer it to this wire rack. Once we transfer it, we're gonna let it cool all the way before we ice it. Now while that cake is cooling, let's go ahead and get that glaze ready. I got 2 cups of powdered sugar. I'm gonna add in about a teaspoon of vanilla. Now I've got some whole milk. I want to add just enough to bring it together. There we go. That's what we're looking for. We got our king cake nice and cool. Let's go ahead and put it on that platter. Oh yeah. So now you can take that baby if you got it. You know, the tradition is whoever ends up with the baby, they gotta buy the next king cake. I guess in this case, y'all gonna be making a king cake. Go ahead, take it, and you can hide it anywhere you want. I'm gonna pipe in some of that extra ganache right into that king cake. Go ahead, ice the top. Then go ahead and decorate it up with your purple, green, and gold. Mm-hmm. Oh. Mm. Mm-hmm. That roasted white chocolate is a game changer. Make sure you hit that follow button because I'll be releasing more that might be better than this one. I'll let y'all decide though.